Hey Lovebugs, so today is a new tutorial using the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction. This is what it looks like. So today's look is a more dramatic one. I've got this big blown out glittery sultry eye definition smoked out with just a hint of that beautiful red. I feel like I was kind of struggling with a lip choice because you can go in so many different directions with this eye look. Let's get this started. I've got primer on my eyelids. I've already done my brows. I'm going for a big blown out look, so I'm going to start with a nice fluffy brush. This one is the Wayne Goss number 17, and you know we're going into the deep aubergine. I'm going to begin by placing my crease color above my actual crease to create a larger eye effect. So just starting to really create my own crease. Count on me to find the cool tones in any warm palette. So just blending back and forth. I'm trying to create depth, but I'm mostly trying to feather out the upper edge of this line that we're creating. The bottom edge doesn't matter too much at this point, and I'm trying to get rid of some of this patchiness that's happening over here while also keeping things symmetrical. So that side has a little more up here. It's just a little bit uneven. I'm going to take my Morphe PK36 brush and go into this shade over here. We blend that top edge. It is a super intense shade, but we're kind of going for intense today. I'm taking my Chikuhodo GSN 9 brush, and again going back into aubergine. I'm going to tap this onto the outer edge of the look. And going back to my Wayne Goss number 17, I'm just blending the edges now that we've got the intensity laid down. I'm just gonna tap this brush off until there's no more pigment coming from it, and then I'm going to go back into this guy for the lid. I'm patting it on and then kind of sculpting the edge a little bit like a half cut crease. And then patting this outer edge where it meets the deep aubergine. For good measure, I'm going back to my Wayne Goss number 17 and blending the edges on the outer edge, leaving this edge up in the innermost part of the crease crisp. Now with a smaller synthetic brush from Morphe. This is from one of their vegan collections. A lip brush or some concealer brush would work just fine. I'm going to use a little bit of MAC Fix Plus and spritz my brush. And we're going to go into this guy over here for more of a pop right on top. I like this as a topper shade. A mixing medium would do it well too. So I'm going to glitter glue Now that truly intensifies the lid a lot. I'm actually patting this over the dark edge too, kind of allowing it to fade away. But there'll still be that dark base, so it just kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. It looks a little bit less stark of a transition. Once again, we've come to the point where I have stopped planning. So I'm going to take my Waingast number 19, it's a smaller brush, and I'm going back into this guy that we used as a base. And I'm going to use this in the inner corner. I love this as an inner corner highlight, it's just very smooth as opposed to some of these other shades are pretty sort of chunky in the best possible way. Chunky, but you know, they've got more texture to them, whereas this is just nice and smooth and gives a really pretty glow. Lining the waterline, this is the Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal eyeliner, and I'm going to put this not only in the waterline, but I'm also going to tightline. I'm bringing this on the lower lash line as well to create a nice dark base. I'm taking my Delium Tools 758 brush. It's a smudger, short-haired, natural bristle brush. I'm going into Aubergine, and I'm just gonna smudge this on the lower lash line, especially on the outer half. Right over that eyeliner, blending it right into it. Since I'm just mimicking the upper lid part of the look, I'm going back into my fluffy Waingast number 19 brush and dipping into this as a base, and then we will go back into this guy up here. And then finally, just to warm things up a little bit, I'm going back into my Waingast number 17 brush and dipping into the red. Now with this shade, I'm going to lightly frame the eye. So just blending this slightly into the aubergine that we laid down at the beginning to bring some warmth. And with the number 19 brush, I'm just framing it underneath the lower lash line as well. It's just a light finishing touch. Alright beauties, so this is the point where I throw on lots and lots of mascara, and you are welcome to throw on falsies if that is what you prefer. And I will be right back. I went ahead and cleaned up the fallout underneath my eyes, and I'm taking my Milani Perfect and Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer, and I'm going to use my Up and Up complexion brush, like a buffer brush, to apply this. I'm going for kind of flawless, full coverage, long wearing, a little bit more intense than I normally sport. My brush is a little damp. Every time I take a new brush down from my brush wall, I clean it using soap and stuff, so it's a little bit damp. Because of the neckline of my dress and I don't want to get makeup on my outfit, I am not putting much makeup on the lower half of my face. If you need foundation and concealer there, by all means bring it all the way down, but I'm gonna like blend it out much higher so that I don't actually have much makeup down here. I'm gonna take a little bit of my NARS Custard Soft Matte Concealer and just spot conceal wherever I have a little bit of darkness or redness or discoloration. That way I can stop layering on foundation pretty early on and keep things at a good point. So that way we've got full coverage without the cake. For the same sorts of reasons, I'm keeping the complexion pretty matte. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Micro Powder from Charlotte Tilbury that I almost always use. And I'm just going to lightly set wherever I did some concealing and just in general so that everything stays put for longer. I'm pulling out an old favorite for my complexion. This is the Becca Après-Ski Glow Face Palette. I don't love to always use this on camera, but I do use this a lot. The reason being that this was limited edition. But the bronzer in here, Bronze Bondi, is actually permanent, so you can find that at any store where they sell Becca. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that for my cheekbones. I've been using this Morphe R7 brush recently for blush and bronzer. Now while we are keeping the foundation complexion pretty matte, this bronzer does have dimension to it. It's not just a flat matte. So it keeps the skin looking healthy and balanced. I'm doing an all over. I'm doing just a little bit kind of all over. Not really contouring. I want to keep the complexion soft. Now this color was limited edition, this Winter Berry, but any blush would do. I'm just putting a hint of blush. I'm going to give myself a spritz of MAC Fix Plus and Scandinavia Finishing Spray. Okay, and then time to revive these lips. I think I want to do, I'm going to use Kate, the NARS Audacious Kate shade. It's a purpley tone, and I was afraid it was going to clash, but I think it actually pulls together really nicely. So let's just throw that on. We are at the end of this journey. I hope that you enjoyed. If there's anything specific you would like to see from me in the future, please let me know in the comment section down below. I love you lots, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.